My name is Dr. Kofi Owura Amoabeng. I'm with the Department of Mechanical Engineering, KNUST. Well, I joined the department just last year. Yeah, when I came back from, after I did my PhD from Hamburg University in South Korea. Well, the transition period was very smooth because the school that I went to, Hamburg National University, before then, the then former Vice Chancellor, Professor Owura, when he was in charge of the IPO, signed an MOU with the school in Hamburg in South Korea. And therefore, but at that point, they were taking only master students. So I had a colleague who got the opportunity to do masters with one professor over there. He came back to KNUST, but he was with the Department of Agric and Biosystems Engineering. And then he told me that this professor is in need of a student who would like to do his PhD. So I took that opportunity, and then I got admission to Hamburg National University. And that was how I moved from KNUST to there. But before then, you know, I had finished my national service around 2009. And then as a teaching assistant, I didn't know the way forward because I wasn't in the industry where I could be employed. So I decided to work with my professor for another year, not because I'll be paid, but at least to be actively involved in the work. And actually, I really love the teaching profession. So I decided to also study him. And then when I was with him, he just told me to just begin the masters here. So fortunately for me, I started the masters in 2010, completed in 2012. And then a year after, this opportunity came, and I took that opportunity and I went to South Korea. So the transition wasn't that stressful, it was smooth. Well, when I came back, I've not started working on any project as at now. Just that when I came back, the Energy Commission, in consultation with MEDA, also decided to set up sustainable energy service centers in 3 universities, of which KNUST was one of them. There was a team that was selected, and I was part of it. And so currently we are in charge of that team. So what we will do as part of the Sustainable Energy Service Center is the fact that we will train industry players on efficient use of energy. So we do energy audits, maybe projects that tends to, if there is a case of a new building being put up, there are measures that we can put in place to reduce the energy consumption. You see, even the building envelopes, the kind of envelopes that you put on the building can tell you the amount of energy consumption that these air conditioners and refrigerators that you put in the building will consume. Yeah, so when you do these assessments, you'll be able to advise builders and energy policy makers on how to minimize the inefficiencies as far as energy is concerned. So that is what the sustainable energy thing is all about. And also to encourage people on the use of cleaner energy, like renewable energy. You know, the fossil fuels that we've been using, we know the CO2 emissions that are they pose to the environment. And so it is important to use cleaner and affordable energy, like the renewable energy. So the sustainable energy also touched on renewable energy. It touches on energy audits. It touches on energy efficiency and conservation measures and all that. What I experienced out there in South Korea, as far as the academic work is concerned, that I think here there are some challenges has to do with the laboratory practical aspect. Because for me, the school that I went there, I realized that every professor has his or her own lab with students that he or she works with. Unlike here that professors struggle to get their own labs to work with students. So there and then you realize that my professor can easily go out there. He will be telling you he's going for business trips. Basically what he's going to do is that he's going to look for projects for us to do. So maybe Samsung wants a new technology. Okay, my professor was into refrigeration and air conditioning. So maybe Samsung wants a new technology. a technology that will enable them to minimize energy consumption in air conditioners and all that. So they will go for these conferences, and then maybe you submit your proposals, and then the project can be given to you. Then he will come and then brief us that, okay, there is this project that I want to give to Kofi to work on it for me. So Kofi will start the research, look into literature, look at the benchmarks, the things that people have done concerning that area and things that people have not done, and what we can do to improve them and all that. And so the equipment were readily available as far as the laboratory is concerned. And you can always go there to have some kind of practicals in there. Sometimes it's a bit funny, sometimes here there are some theoretical things that you've learned that because you've not seen the practical aspect. Sometimes when you go there and you have been exposed to the practical aspect of it, you might not even notice whether you've studied this thing. Yeah, so those are some of the challenges that we have here. And then for there too, well, unlike here, they have a lot of universities out there. And so one university is not crowded with people. And so not like my department, for instance, mechanical, at a go, maybe you can have 35 students seated in a lecture room. And so the participation, everything is there. Currently, you can have over 300 students in a lecture room, and then it becomes stressful. And it is the same, lab spacing that is still available up to now. So I think those are the challenges. When you compare when you go outside to this place, I think as far as the practical aspect is concerned, we need to do something to improve it. It is always good to come back home to contribute your quota. So I keep on advising my colleagues out there that, well, we all have a part to play to also make our country better. So the little that we have learned, even those of us who are young and then we met somewhere, maybe in Korea and whatever it is, once we are here, maybe we can team up. We can team up and then do something. So even though there are challenges here, we still need to come back and then help the country. Yeah, so I will encourage them that, well, there are challenges anyway, and they know that once they were moving, there were challenges, but it is good for them to come home so that we all can contribute our quota to help the country develop.